clothes are quite autobiographical. You know, I grew up and everybody was quite the same. They dressed the same, they looked the same. And I remember when I started wearing black, and that was like a really big deal. I knew very early on that I'd move to New York once I finished high school, sneaking out of my house where I grew up, going to nightclubs at the age of 13, 14 in New York City. There's just always been this intense energy for me. It was during the time of like club kids' clothes being put together in a way that was like nothing I've ever seen before in my life. It was so carefree, it was so, I don't give a shit, you know, this is who I am, this is what I feel like wearing. A kid from the suburb doesn't really experience those things. My style evolved through time, but that was kind of the first mark of being like, I'm different, and this is my way of dressing. And the brand's always had this kind of riff between things that feel a bit classic and really respectful to the idea of heritage, but then putting an edge to it or just throwing it off slightly. It's kind of in a way going back to the DNA of the collection. Oftentimes in fashion, you know, you never want to look back, but I think it's looking back in a very respectful way of what the brand's always stood for. The collection's never been about being precious, not being so perfect and polished. I want the clothes to feel like they have a sense of character. It's more coming from a feeling, and it starts with that. It's always about an energy and a mood and a vibe. When I was able to launch my own collection, it was really about the things I wanted to explore and the things I wanted to say. You know, creating a dialogue. It's not dictating or anything. It's just kind of saying, this is what I feel. Whether you take it entirely as how I presented it or you take parts of it. It's just to say, this is how I see it. So much of my energy and inspiration comes from being in the city. I think it's more in an attitude, the discussion of where are we taking this. There always has to be that element to push things even more than you were before.